The name is Nilin. This time, you'll remember me.
Having a great idea for a game doesn't mean you're going to end up with a really good one. Remember Me uses a basis of messing with people's memories to try and elevate itself to a higher level, but the overall mediocrity of the game leads it to soon descending into the realms of a more or less humdrum third-person action title. Set in Neo-Paris in the year 2084, Remember Me presents the player with a world in which memories are tradable commodities. The player takes control of Nilin, a specialized memory hunter who has suffered having her own memory erased. Traversing the diverse areas of Neo-Paris, she must fight to regain her memories and bring a little balance to an unjust world. Remember Me could have been a visual feast. The settings are complex and lively, and the various characters filling them are almost playful in their design. In fact, many great ideas about this particular dystopian future surface in the game's visuals, and the player will find themselves distracted by some of the small oddities that this future has to offer. But the looks simply never shine. They lack polish. This problem extends beyond the environments, affecting the character models too. The characters are decently handled, with interesting design aspects and good movement, but there simply is no flair here. Movements and sequences become repetitive before long. In terms of voice acting and general sound, Remember Me treads another middle ground. The dialogue is delivered at a level that is good enough, but never really strives for greatness. Enemy dialogue gets repetitive, and many sound effects are just used a little too often. Some of the script is also a little weird, but that might have to do with translation problems. On the whole, Remember Me is a competent third-person action game, relying on hand-to-hand combat sequences separated by traversal challenges. That doesn't make the game unique, and the simple combat never really grabs the player's attention, even though it features customizable combos and unlockable attacks that are more powerful. Customizing combos is a great idea, allowing the player to string together attacks that have various benefits, including health and more powerful strikes. But this system really never becomes thrilling. The same can be said for the powerful attacks. They look impressive, but are mostly too enemy-specific in their applications, and take just a little too long to cool down, even with combo attacks that shorten this downtime. As far as the traversal part of the game goes, it feels too safe. There are no heart-stopping moments. The player is literally guided between movement challenges, and it very rarely feels like Nilin is in danger while she is traipsing around at high altitudes. One of the aspects of the game that could have saved Remember Me from mediocrity is memory remixing. In these missions, the player gets to enter the memories of others and change the way they remember things. It's a sort of video puzzle in which the player alters small details to change memory outcomes. The idea is fantastic, and really is the best part of Remember Me, but it only comes up around 4 times during the entire game. Memory remixing is brutally underutilized. Remember Me is full of great ideas in terms of plot, but this means that the game's flow is often interrupted by cutscenes that aren't impressive enough to warrant their frequency and length. The story is good, but it isn't particularly well told. The sad thing about that is that the root idea of the game is alluring, and the setting is rather unique. The narrative simply drops the ball for what could have been a great video game story. There is no multiplayer for Remember Me, and it's unlikely that players would want to take on a second playthrough. That means that once you're done, you'll probably never play it again. Remember Me is an example of somewhat squandered potential. What could have been a great game simply doesn't deliver the goods, leaving it bobbing just above the ever-increasing swamp of mediocre games. It's almost ironic that a game called Remember Me is ultimately forgettable.